Okay, so I'm going to try something new today. I've been working on reviving my jelly plate, and we'll see if it works and how it works. Basically, what I had done was I had left it out to try and get rid of the bubbles that will happen. I left it out on 2 pieces of masonite because they're nice and smooth. And I had some books on top of it to try and flatten out those bubbles because I'd read if you put it on a flat surface that works. But what I didn't think about is the fact that masonite is porous, and I'm using the excuse me, the Gelli Arts brand of gel plate, and it has mineral oil in it. And the mineral oil, I noticed there was some oil on the masonite, and I was having a hard time. I wasn't getting prints that were working as well, and there was issues where the plate would come up when I was taking the paper off. It would kind of pull off of the table. So what I've been trying to do, and we'll see if it works today. I don't know if it will or not, but I've been trying to revitalize it. I got some mineral oil from just Walmart. It's just plain 100% mineral oil. You can see right there. So if it'll focus, I don't know if it will, but 100% mineral oil. And I've just been soaking it in there the last couple days and cleaning it off and then re-soaking it. I put it in its clamshell, just let it soak for the last couple days, and we'll see. It feels much better than it did. I don't know if it'll be back to normal, but it feels like it's sticking to my table better, kind of like it did when I first got it. Maybe not exactly the same, but pretty close. So that's one thing that I'm going to try. The second thing that's new that I'm going to be trying is I'm going to be trying to make prints from laser printer copies, because I've seen people do this before. So that way I can get some kind of personalized images to see what I can get and maybe use those in an upcoming art piece that I'm kind of planning out if everything comes together. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, I'm going to try some of these pictures out to see if they work. And if they don't, you know, it is what it is. It's all kind of an experiment anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my plate. And when I say ink, I'm just using regular craft paint. This is Walmart craft paint. It's just super cheap. Apple Barrel. I think this is like $1.50 for this bottle. For these, I think it's 50 cents or something. Or at least it was last time I was there. So depending on where you live, it may be a little bit different, but probably pretty close to that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing going. I haven't printed in a few days, so we'll see if any of these come out or not. But it's all just kind of an experiment anyway. Okay, so let's see what happens. And after using that mineral oil, I would go back and forth from soaking it, and then I would clean it off with dish soap and everything, and then I'd re-soak it and more dish soap and re-soak it and more dish soap the last couple days, just to try and clean it as much as I can and get it soaked as much as I can. I'm going to put a little bit more paint on there. There we go. Let's see what comes out here. See if we get anything. And the amount of paint, like I said, you just kind of have to get a feel for what works for you. You'll just kind of start to understand, oh, well, that feels about right, or that's too much, or whatever. Okay, so let's see what we get here. And one thing that's important is to try and get those air bubbles out. You can go from the side, you can go from the top, the bottom, just depends on what works well for you. You don't need to press really hard. From my experience, you can just put it on and then take it right off. And we've got a little bit of a print here. So let's see if it actually will print or not. For me, I feel like getting it to lay down from the bottom to the top works easiest. For me. Let's see if we get anything. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. So I'm going to try again. Maybe I just needed more paint too, I don't know. But we'll see here. You can see there's a little bit right in there. And maybe my picture too isn't great. Maybe it needs more contrast. So let me try a different picture and see if that works better. Okay. Let's try this one. These are my son. My oldest son, Levi. Let's see what we get. Try a different color too. Maybe a little bit more paint. And I find that if I work quick, it tends to help. Okay, let's see what we get here. I'm going to go from the bottom upwards this way. Get all those bubbles out. Just give it a quick once over. Pull it off here. The plate's feeling a lot better, I will say that. Feeling much better. It's not coming up when I pull up. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, there's a little bit of success there. Still not great. I don't think that these prints are working as well as a magazine. So I'm going to try a magazine real quick and see how it turns out. And I'm going to use one that's worked well in the past, so I can kind of use it as a baseline and see what we got. So I got this Marie Claire, which I have had good luck with in the past. Let's see if I have any pictures that'll work. Let's try this one. Okay. And just see what we get. Okay, so that's the picture I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use that one. I like that one better. Let's see what we get. Again, I'm going to try this color here, and I'm printing on newsprint. I've gotten really good results with newsprint, but you can use any paper from what I understand. So try whatever, experiment, see what works well for you. I think it's kind of a personal thing, what you like, so, and what works well. It's just kind of up to you. I may have the right amount of paint. I may have too much. I'm still figuring that out. So let's see here. And laying the paint down that way, I saw somebody else do it that way. I think that helps me to get all the air bubbles out as much as possible. And you don't need to press really hard. Okay, I might have had too much paint there. I think I did. But I can see the image, so that's a good start. Let's see what we get. Not bad. That's pretty good. So my magazine images are coming out better. Maybe a little bit too much paint, but I'll kind of keep working at it and see what happens. The plate is definitely feeling a lot better. I don't know if it's back to normal 100%, but it's definitely feeling better. Let's try another one of these prints and see what we get. And see how it turns out. I'm going to try a different color. Let's try red with this teal color. It may turn a little bit brown, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And again, when I'm putting the paint on my plate, I'm rolling it and lifting, and that helps ink the whole brayer. Kind of this brownish, purplish, like a red violet. It's kind of cool, kind of a cool color. Okay, and I'm gonna keep inking this a little bit more to see if I can get about the right amount. For me, it feels like when it's just on the verge of feeling a little bit sticky, that seems to be about right for me, but I don't know. I'm still learning, so. Maybe I need to press on these a little bit more. See if maybe that helps. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's see if I can actually pull a print off of it. Maybe I'm just not pressing hard enough. I don't know. There's so many different variables with this. It's hard to know what you're doing wrong until you just kind of keep working with it. Well, that's a pretty good one. I'd call that a success. That's nice. Okay, that's good. Let me try another one here. This is him and his teacher. See if we get anything with that. And you can mix your colors too. You can mix and match, and you can do 2 layers too. So if it doesn't look like it's going to print well on this one, you can put white over the top of it and get a 2-layer print. I'm going to mix a couple colors here and see if that's about the right amount. I don't know. And this color may be a little bit too light. It feels kind of light. That lavender, maybe the blue will darken it up. Gonna smear that around a little bit. There we go. I do find too that I have better success using darker colors. Unless you print on a dark piece of paper, then you'd probably want to go with a lighter color. But it might end up having a negative type of effect. I'm not sure. I haven't really experimented with that yet. So let's try this one and see what we get. Okay, I'm really going to press this one on there. So maybe with some of these prints I'm just not pressing hard enough. Well, there's a little bit. We're still missing some. I think too this doesn't have enough contrast. So let's see what we get. I don't know. There's a little bit of the image in there. This would have been a good one to try a background color on. You can see my paper bubbling up too. That's not a great sign. So you see a little bit of the image in there, but not a great result. So I'd call that one a fail. I'll try again. Try again. Let's try this one again, which this was, let's see, right here. So let's see if I get better results this time. And I'm going to go a little bit darker this time. see what we get. Maybe I didn't have enough paint too, who knows. This feels like too much, but like I said, I am no expert. Yeah, when it feels like it's just gliding over the top and the brayer's not even rolling, that probably means you have a little bit too much paint. And I just keep rolling it, and if you need to, you can take your brayer on a scrap piece of paper off to the side and just roll it on that to get some of that extra paint off if you get too much. Until it feels about right. Okay, that's a nice dark color. Let's see what we get. Try this one again. Oh, kind of crooked, that's okay. Okay. Oh, nothing. Just a little bit of his tank top. That's probably worse than the first one. Try that one again after this. Maybe I'm pressing too hard. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just still figuring this out myself. So probably worse than the first try. Try again. See what happens. I do usually have better luck with dark colors, so I don't know. Let's see what we get. Mix all that up together first. This dark violet-y color. Okay. Alright, let's see what we get. Try that same print again. See if we get any better results. I'm not going to press real hard this time. I'm just going to lay it down, smooth it out, try and get all the air bubbles. Okay. See what we come up with. Okay, that looks a little better. Probably not much different than the first one. Okay, this time. So, I would say that's probably the best of the three prints. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's probably the best one so far out of that particular picture. I think I need pictures with more contrast, but that's not bad. I don't hate that. That's not terrible. Again, let's try this one. This one was probably the worst fail. Okay, see if we can get something decent out of it. This will be, let's say this will be my last print. I'm going to do this in black. Get kind of a navy color. And maybe too, maybe it's the paint that I'm using doesn't produce great prints. That could very well be the case. I know that people that do this a lot I think are using better quality paint. This is like probably the cheapest acrylic paint that you can buy. So that could very well be the case, but I will say that I've had better luck with this really cheap paint than like the Dick Blick paint. It's a little bit thicker, or even the Crayola acrylic paint is a little bit thicker too. So this cheap apple barrel paint has not been bad for me. Okay. Not going to press it real hard, just going to get the air out. Pull it up. Okay. Lay one down. Pull it up. Okay, that's much better. Okay. So maybe I was just hesitating too much, but you see that versus that. It's about 1,000,000 times better. Much, much, much better. Okay. See if I can get one more here. And I don't have a lot of different options here, but I'm going to just, maybe I'll try a two-tone one this time. See if I come up with anything. Mix it around here first. And I could be using the wrong type of brayer. I'm using a hard rubber brayer. Maybe you need a soft rubber brayer. I don't know. I didn't read any instructions. I just saw somebody do it, and I didn't really ask many questions about it, just a couple basic ones, like what type of paint. And then when I got my plate, I've just been kind of experimenting until I get stuff. So I'm going to work quick with this one because that tended to work better. I'm not going to press real hard. I'm just going to lay it down, get the air out. Okay, pull it back up. There we go. And then this time I'm going to add some white, and hopefully this white isn't too thick. This is some Crayola white. It's pretty thick, so we'll see what happens. My brayer is not clean either, so this may not turn out, but I've seen people do this with success, so I want to give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, let's see. Nothing. That's what happens with me. When I always try those two-tone ones, it never works. For me, maybe it's my paint. I don't know. Okay, I gotta call it good. That's it for today. All right. But rehydrating with the mineral oil was definitely a good call. It definitely helped, like a lot. I'm actually getting prints that are working, and plate isn't pulling up every time, so it's definitely helping. I might continue to use it. So anyway, that's it.